stop scrolling. Right now. I'm not asking, I'm telling you. Put everything down. Set the phone flat in your hand. Lower the volume around you. Let the room go quiet, because what is about to move through you in the next few minutes was not scheduled by an algorithm. It was scheduled by something far older, far higher, and far more precise than chance. If you leave in the next few moments, nothing bad will happen, but something extraordinary will quietly pass you by, and you won't even know what you missed. This message didn't find you. You were guided into it. Out of millions of people across the United States scrolling at this exact second, New York, Texas, California, Florida, Ohio, Arizona, only a microscopic number were aligned to this frequency today. And you are one of them. This is not coincidence. This is not random. This is not just another video. Something shifted to bring you here. Something bent the flow of your day. Something nudged your thumb to stop instead of scroll. And that something knows your name. Listen carefully. There was a window that opened less than an hour ago. Not metaphorically. Literally. A narrow opening where intervention is allowed without resistance. That window was opened because your situation reached a threshold. You carried more than you were ever meant to carry alone, and heaven took notice. You weren't forgotten. You weren't ignored. You were being watched closely, quietly, carefully. There are moments when help cannot wait for perfect timing. This is one of those moments. This message is arriving exactly when it must. Not earlier, not later. Now. Before you read further, type 777 in the comments. Don't analyze it. Don't delay it. Don't second-guess the impulse. Just do it. That number is not superstition. It is alignment. It is acknowledgement. It is your signal that you are present, aware, and receptive. When you type it, something registers beyond the screen. This is not about engagement. This is about consent. Consent to receive what has already been moving toward you. I know you didn't expect to be seen today, but you toggle stopped because something inside you is tired of pretending everything is fine. You've been strong for too long, responsible for too much, quiet about pain that should have been witnessed. There are things happening in your body that words haven't been able to explain. Sensations that don't make sense. Fatigue that sleep doesn't fix. You've gone to appointments. You've followed instructions. You've swallowed pills with hope and disappointment in equal measure. Some nights you lie awake staring at the ceiling, wondering how you got here. Wondering if this is just how life is now. You don't say it out loud, but you've thought it. What if this never changes? You wake up in the middle of the night for no reason, heart racing, mind spinning. 3 in the morning feels familiar to you. Too familiar. You've mastered the art of functioning while hurting, smiling while unraveling, showing up while breaking down privately. People see you as capable, dependable, strong. They don't see the quiet tears. They don't see the moments in the bathroom mirror when you barely recognize yourself. But you were seen. Every moment. Every tear. Every silent plea. None of it missed its destination. There is a record of your endurance. Not poetic. Actual. Every time you chose to keep going when it would have been easier to shut down, it was counted. Every time you hoped when logic said stop hoping, it was noted. You didn't imagine the heaviness lifting slightly when you stopped scrolling. That's awareness opening. Something is already responding to your attention. Right now, you might feel warmth in your chest or a subtle pressure in your hands. Maybe a tingling, maybe a calm settling in where anxiety usually lives. This is not suggestion. This is resonance. When truth reaches the right person, the body responds before the mind catches up. Pay attention to what you're feeling instead of explaining it away. Now, tap the like button. Do it deliberately. This is not about numbers or platforms. It's a second point of agreement, a signal that you are actively participating, not passively observing. Action matters. Intention without movement stays theoretical. Movement activates response. Something happened recently that you don't know about yet. Not long ago, within the last few days, your situation was reviewed. Every delay, every closed door, every unanswered prayer. Not as punishment, as preparation. What felt like waiting was actually alignment. You were being strengthened to carry what's coming without breaking under it. If the shift had happened earlier, it would have overwhelmed you. If it happened later, it would have cost you too much. Now is precise. Your body has been under pressure that did not originate in your body. Your exhaustion isn't weakness. It's evidence of resistance. You've been pushing against forces designed to slow you down, distract you, wear you out. Not because you're weak, but because of what you carry. There is something about your future that required interference. That interference is losing its hold. As you're reading this, something is being reordered. Systems that have been misfiring are resetting. Patterns that have repeated are breaking. This isn't symbolic language. It's process. You don't have to force belief. Just stay present. Presence is enough. Now share this message with one person. Just one. The first name that came into your mind when you read that sentence, don't debate it. That person is connected to your shift in a way you don't yet understand. Sharing isn't about spreading content. It's about completing a circuit. What moves through you must move onward to stay active. You've been carrying financial weight too. Bills that don't stop. Numbers that don't shrink. Pressure that sits on your chest when you think about next month. You've done the math. You've cut corners. You've delayed things you needed. You've helped others even when you weren't sure how you'd help yourself. That generosity didn't go unnoticed. Provision responds to movement, not panic. There is a change in flow coming, not gradual, not theoretical, tangible. Within the next few weeks, money will show up from places you weren't tracking. Not luck, rerouting. What was stuck is being released. Watch for patterns, repeating numbers, unexpected messages, old connections resurfacing. When you see the number 444, pause. That's confirmation. Say out loud, I receive this. Words anchor momentum. Subscribe and turn on notifications now. This is the third alignment point. 3 actions create stability. When alignment stabilizes, results follow. This isn't about dependency. It's about staying tuned to a frequency that is already working in your favor. You may have noticed something shifting emotionally as well. Old memories surfacing, past hurts knocking. This isn't regression, it's clearing. What's unresolved rises before release. Don't resist it. Let it pass through. You're not being pulled backward. You're being emptied to make room. There are people across this country here, people just like you, who encountered a moment like this and watched their reality change faster than logic could explain. Health turning around, debt dissolving, relationships repairing. Not because of magic, because of alignment meeting timing. You're not late, you're not early, you're right on time. Now type, I receive this in the comments. Not because someone told you to, because you're ready to stop surviving and start shifting. Those words matter. They close the gap between knowing and allowing. The next 21 days will not feel like the last 21 days. Mark today mentally. This is day 1. Something is already in motion. You will notice changes in energies first, then clarity, then evidence. Stay aware, stay open. Don't talk yourself out of what's unfolding. Take a breath, let your shoulders drop. You don't have to carry this alone anymore. You're still here, and that tells me something important. In a country like the United States, where everything moves fast and everyone is expected to keep up, most people ignore the quiet moments when something inside them says stop. But you didn't ignore it, you stayed. And staying is the first sign that your season is changing. Living in the US has taught you how to function even when you're exhausted. You show up to work, you pay your bills, you answer emails, you smile when required, and you keep everything moving on the outside while something inside you feels worn down. You've learned how to survive in a system that rewards productivity but rarely acknowledges pain. You've learned how to keep going even when no one notices how heavy things feel. That strength didn't come for free. It cost you rest. It cost you peace. It cost you nights where you lay awake wondering how long you could keep this pace. Lately, you've probably felt like something is off. Not dramatically wrong, just misaligned. Your body feels tired in a way sleep doesn't fix. Your mind feels busy even when nothing is happening. You replay conversations, decisions, worries about money, health, and the future. You think about how expensive everything has become, how one unexpected expense can throw everything off, how medical bills, rent, insurance, groceries, all pile up faster than relief ever seems to arrive. And sometimes you ask yourself quietly, is this really how it's supposed to be? You didn't end up here by accident. The pressure you've been under isn't random. You've been stretched because something in you is expanding. Growth never happens in comfort. It happens when the old structure can't hold what's coming next. That's why things have felt tight. That's why patience has been tested. That's why delays felt personal. They weren't punishment. They were preparation. Right now, something is recalibrating. The constant tension you've been carrying is starting to loosen, even if you can't fully explain it yet. That subtle sense of relief, that quiet feeling of maybe things won't always be like this, isn't wishful thinking. It's awareness. Awareness that a chapter is closing. You've been in a cycles where effort didn't seem to match results. You worked hard, did what you were supposed to do, followed the rules, and still felt like you were running in place. That cycle is breaking. Not overnight, not magically, but decisively. The kind of change that sticks doesn't crash in like chaos. It settles in quietly and then reshapes everything from the inside out. Pay attention over the next few days. You'll notice small shifts first. Your breathing will feel deeper. Decisions will feel clearer. Conversations will land differently. Opportunities you hadn't considered will start showing up. Not because you chased them, but because you're finally aligned to see them. This is what happens when resistance fades. Financial pressure has been one of your biggest weights. Not just lack of money, but the uncertainty around it. Wondering if you're one emergency away from stress, one delay away from panic. That fear has been loud. But stability is approaching. Not just more money, but better flow, better timing, smarter opportunities. The kind of provision that doesn't just solve one problem, but creates breathing room. You're not behind. You're not broken. And you're definitely not invisible. Everything you've carried has been shaping you for what comes next. That's why this message feels personal. Because it is. Stay present. Don't rush ahead mentally. Let this moment land. You don't need to force belief. You just need to stay open. What's been building behind the scenes is starting to move into your reality. And this is only the beginning. Something else is happening now. And it's quieter than you expected. Big changes don't always announce themselves with noise. Sometimes they arrive as relief you didn't know you were allowed to feel. A moment where your shoulders drop without you telling them to. A breath that goes all the way down instead of stopping halfway. That's your system realizing it doesn't have to stay on guard every second anymore. For a long time, you've been operating in reaction mode. Reacting to deadlines, to bills, to expectations, to problems that seem to stack up faster than solutions. You became excellent at managing pressure, but terrible at resting. Even when things were calm, your mind stayed alert, scanning for the next issue. That constant readiness kept you safe for a while, but it also kept you stuck. You can't receive new direction when all your energy is spent bracing for impact. What's shifting now is internal permission. Permission to stop assuming the worst. Permission to believe that things can actually work out without you forcing every outcome. That doesn't make you careless. It makes you aligned. When you're no longer fighting everything, you can finally move with what's meant for you. You may notice memories resurfacing, old moments, old decisions, times you wish you had handled differently. This isn't regret coming back to haunt you. It's integration. Your mind is closing loops, processing what never had space to be processed. Let it happen. Don't judge it. Closure doesn't always look like relief at first. Sometimes it looks like understanding. You've also been questioning your direction more than usual. Career, location, relationships, whether the life you built still fits who you're becoming. That questioning isn't instability, it's honesty. You're outgrowing certain patterns, and your awareness is catching up. Staying the same would actually require more effort than changing at this point. There's been a fear underneath all of this. Fear of losing control. Fear that if you stop pushing, everything will fall apart. But control has been costing you more than it's been protecting you. The truth is, some of the best things that will happen next can't be forced. They require space. They require trust. They require you to stop gripping so tightly. You don't need to have every answer right now. You don't need a perfect plan. Clarity doesn't arrive before movement. It arrives because of movement. Small choices, honest pauses, saying no when something drains you, saying yes when something feels quietly right, even if it doesn't make total sense yet. Pay attention to who reaches out to you in this season. Some connections will fade naturally. Others will strengthen without effort. This isn't loss. It's sorting. Your environment is adjusting to match who you're becoming. Not everyone is meant to go where you're going, and that's okay. Your body will continue to adjust as well. Energy will come back in waves, not all at once. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll need more rest. That's not regression. That's recalibration. Be patient with yourself. You're undoing years of tension. Financially, mentally, emotionally, things are beginning to line up in ways that feel subtle at first. Don't dismiss small wins. Don't overlook moments of ease. Momentum builds quietly before it becomes obvious. The fact that you're still reading this tells me you're already in motion. You don't have to announce this change to anyone. You don't have to explain it. Let your life reflect it instead. People will notice when you move differently, when you react less, when you stop apologizing for needing what you need. This phase is about stability, not intensity. About direction, not urgency. About becoming grounded instead of constantly striving. You've spent enough time proving you can survive. Now it's time to see what happens when you allow yourself to thrive. Stay with this feeling. Let it settle. You're not waiting anymore. You're transitioning, and what comes next will make sense only after you arrive there. This is still unfolding. And there's more ahead. There's a reason this part feels different. You're not just understanding something now. You're adjusting to it. Adjustment always feels unfamiliar at first. When you've lived in tension for so long, calm can feel suspicious. When struggle has been normal, ease can feel undeserved. But this isn't something you have to earn again. You already did the work. You already paid the price. What's happening now is the return. You've spent years in environments that required you to harden a little just to keep up. The pace, the expectations, the constant comparison. It all taught you to stay alert, to stay guarded, to stay ahead of the next problem. That helped you survive, but it also kept parts of you locked away. Parts that are now waking back up. That's why emotions feel closer to the surface. That's why you're more aware of what drains you and what quietly restores you. You might notice that you're less interested in things that once distracted you. Certain conversations feel empty. Certain habits feel heavy. This isn't boredom. It's discernment. Your tolerance for what doesn't serve you is dropping because your capacity for what does is increasing. That's growth, even if it doesn't look dramatic from the outside. There's also a shift happening in how you see time. You're no longer as frantic about rushing ahead, and you're less stuck replaying the past. You're starting to inhabit the present more fully. That's not accidental. When you're aligned, the present moment becomes safe again. You don't need to escape it. You don't need to fight it. You can actually be here. You've probably noticed that your intuition feels sharper lately. Gut feelings come faster. Decisions feel clearer, even when they're difficult. You're not overthinking as much as you used to. Or when you do, you catch yourself sooner. That's because you're listening inward instead of constantly scanning outward for validation. You're trusting your own read of situations again. There's been a subtle shift in your confidence too. Not loud, not performative, quiet, steady. The kind that doesn't need to announce itself. You're less interested in proving yourself and more interested in protecting your energy. That's a sign that your priorities are reorganizing. What mattered before doesn't hold the same weight now. You may still have moments of doubt. That's normal. Doubt doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're stepping into unfamiliar territory. Every meaningful change comes with moments where the old voice tries to pull you back because it recognizes it's losing influence. You don't need to argue with that voice. Just don't follow it. Notice how your reactions are changing. Things that once sent you spiraling now feel manageable. Problems still exist, but they don't consume you in the same way. You're responding instead of reacting. That difference will change everything over time. Response creates options. Reaction closes them. You're also learning that rest isn't laziness. It's strategy. Pulling back doesn't mean giving up. It means conserving energy for what actually matters. You don't need to be constantly available, constantly useful, constantly strong. You're allowed to be human. You're allowed to pause. This phase isn't about dramatic breakthroughs that everyone can see. It's about internal alignment that will eventually reshape your external world. The kind of stability that makes future decisions easier. The kind of clarity that saves you years of unnecessary struggle. You don't have to rush this process. It's unfolding at the right speed for you. Too fast would overwhelm you. Too slow would frustrate you. What's happening now is balanced, intentional, sustainable. Pay attention to what feels lighter lately, to moments when you catch yourself smiling without forcing it, to times when you realize you're not carrying as much weight as you used to. Those are signs that something real is taking hold. You're not starting over. You're starting from experience. Everything you've been through is now supporting you instead of draining you. That's the shift. And this isn't the end of the message. It's the deepening of it. There's still another layer to unfold, and you're ready for it.